All right, I think we are good to get started. I love the way that how you have started with the chat. Please continue that throughout the presentation. I don't think of these as webinars. These are more your time with the product team. So for those who have joined for the first time in an academy session, especially for an employee center academy session, let me set some context. These are essentially time for you to ask your questions and interact with the product team. We have a really good lineup of experts from ServiceNow today. So please use this time judiciously and get all your questions and confusions and clarifications made in this time. It's not a presentation. We will be diving in the product, showing you different configurations, doing a demo, and we try to like balance it with slides and a deep dive into the product. So please keep an eye out for that. And then these are monthly sessions. We are in April and we are doing our search configurations session this month. And our next session will be on March 16th. Thumb of rule is we basically do a session every third Wednesday of a month. Please use the chat that as you have been using for any comments to interact with each other, to cross comment or anything. And please use the Q&A for your questions. So we will be actively monitoring the Q&A and we will be taking questions predominantly from the Q&A. So if you're posting your question in the chat, it will most likely get missed. So I really want to emphasize that please use the Q&A panel for your questions. And then don't worry about the slides in the video. Both of these will be available later on. So you will have access to them. So don't worry about grabbing screens or anything right now today, because you will have the recording as well as the slides that we use. Now, your learning about Employee Center should not end here. So we wanted to emphasize a few things. One, by now we have done quite a few Academy sessions. All of these Academy sessions you can access via the community forum. We are also building new content in community forum, and you will shortly see that we will do a facelift of our community forum for Employee Center. So a lot more coming there. So keep an eye out. And then we also have additional resources from our Now Create side, which provides best practices, deployment guidance, and so on around Employee Center and beyond that. And then, like I said, the recording and slides are available. You can go to community for that. And the recording is also available on YouTube. In fact, there is a playlist with Employee Center Academy that you can use to just browse through all of the other Academy sessions as well. So our topic for today is search configurations, and I by no means is an expert on search configurations. So I've invited an army of people who are true experts on this and will be supporting me for presentation as well as the Q&A. This is a rare opportunity. It's very hard to have so many people who are search experts on ServiceNow together in one call. So please, I want to emphasize again, make good use of that. So from employee experience side, we have Aditi Priya, who is the product manager for the browse as well as the search experience in Employee Center. Aditi, you want to just say a quick hi?
Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, in whichever part of the world you are in. So as Pooja mentioned, I'm managing the search and the browse experience in the Employee Center. Thanks
Aditi. Then we also have Akash Das, who's on the engineering side for all these cool capabilities that you see on Employee Center. Akash, want to say a quick hi?
Hey everyone, good day. So I'm working on Employee Center, and we are trying to integrate any external search into Employee Center.
Awesome, thanks Akash. And then we have Beth Katz, who's the Director of Product Management for AI Search. AI Search is going to be a huge emphasis or a big topic for our discussion today. So we have Mavis next, who is also a product manager in the AI Search. Mavis, you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Mavis Zhang. I'm one of the principal product managers for AI Search, and then I joined ServiceNow about 2.5 years ago, and then started working with AI Search at the beginning of this journey. So happy to meet everybody here and answer your questions.
Thanks, Mavis. Heather, you want to just quickly introduce yourself as well?
Sure. Hi, I'm Heather Phipps. I'm also a principal product manager on the AI Search team. I've been with ServiceNow a little over a year.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So here's your list of panelists, and we will be diving deep into our content now. But please ask your questions and feel free to direct it to any one of us if you want. All right. So our agenda for today is we will do a brief overview of what the search capabilities within ServiceNow. It can often be confusing, so we want to make sure we set the groundwork and like really just clarify what are the different search capabilities and what's the value associated with each. Then we will do a quick demo of the search experience. And then we will dive deep into how we can set up the search experience on Employee Center, what is out of box, what can be configured in addition to that, what you need to do for that. And so that is heavily focused on just answering your questions. So without further delay, let me just get started. So when you think about different search engines, ServiceNow offers two. One has been our like, I don't want to call it legacy, but our default search engine, which has been there forever, which provides it was focused on providing fast results and had things like automatic search suggestions and ability to index text and also include attachments in search. We have grown up from then and have a new search capability which we call AI search. It's our cognitive search, it's ML driven search, and it is focused on providing a lot better or more consumer grade experience across different channels. So it leverages the capabilities, not just machine learning, but also natural language processing, intent, and is focused on providing results that are not just a list of different things that link with the search terms, but are also actionable and are looking into the intent to make the action. I'll dive deeper into AI search, so we will provide a lot more context on it. So Tahir is asking, does AI search have what Zing already has too? Answer is yes, and more. And AI search is not available in a PDI right now, so you would need to request it in a sub-production environment, but not in a personal developer instance. We actually have to configure like actual hardware associated with it, and we don't do that with PDI right now. And Haimi is asking, is AI search available within the out-of-box? Yes, and Mavis is also addressing that question too beyond that. Let me go ahead a little bit and then we can take a few more questions. So when we think about the value that AI search offers, there are three different pillars that we would like to cluster that value into. First is that the search experience should feel normal or natural and leverages capabilities that understands intent, that uses that is able to understand different languages and different formats followed in any language. I'll expand a little bit more on that. Then it is smart. So it is actually using AI capabilities to provide results that are more actionable and more personalized. And then finally, we want it to be easy to use from an admin perspective as well. So you configure it once and it is all done. And it should not be like a really difficult task to fine tune and provide a good experience. So like when you think of AI search and our investments, these are the three things that we are really focused on. A better way to understand natural is what we have listed over here. So I, as a human, should not be asked to type the whole thing every time. Can the search engine auto-complete what I am probably asking for based on history, based on what's popular? There are typos. Can it correct those typos and actually understand what I'm trying to say? The third one is big. Can it understand the intent that I have and surface actions and answers based on that? And then the last one is, of course, multi languages. I shouldn't be asked to search in English all the time when my primary language is something else. When it comes to smart, it is about using machine learning for relevancy. So as more and more users use the content and leverage the content that is being surfaced after the search, can we use machine learning to make sure that the most important thing or most relevant thing is surfaced on top? Can you provide quick answers and snippets from knowledge articles, genius results, which would highlight based like a result based on the intent? And then can we use different kinds of rules to promote, boost, or block certain results and all of that? So how we can make the search a little bit more smart. And then finally, easy to use. One of the main things with AI is that we have a centralized AI search admin experience. I'll talk a little bit more about it, that you configure it once and you don't have to configure it separately for different sources, not sources, the channels that you are using for search. There is a lot of tools available to analyze the search results and improve on them. And then there's a lot of investment in terms of just the UI design and how the configuration is done from a back-end perspective and not just from a front-end perspective. So these are the different things that you would want to think about when it comes to value. Now, when it comes to architecture, the coolest thing about AI search is that it's like one single search index, which you will fine-tune based on the ML algorithms and whatnot. And all the other data sources that you want will feed into this search index. And from here, you're creating different search profiles for all the different channels that you want to use, and you can still have different search experience across these. But from an admin perspective, you're just configuring the index once. We'll expand on this when we get into the configuration, and if there are any questions around it, we will definitely dive deeper into it. Now, when it comes to the data source as external content, I want to highlight that. You might have heard, especially from an employee center perspective, us talking about enterprise search. That is essentially searching for content which is sitting outside of ServiceNow within ServiceNow. So for example, you have content in SharePoint and you want to make that content searchable in as part of ServiceNow search results. That's something that AI search definitely supports. In fact, we also have connectors available for SharePoint and Confluence, and there are a lot additional integrations that you can possibly expand on through our integration hub and through partners. So if SharePoint is of your interest, please drop your email address to the chat for host and panelist, and we will provide additional details on how to configure that. But it's definitely available. Now, let's dive deep into a demo, and I'll hand it over to Aditi to take it from here.
Perfect. So I have a few instances set up over here. So I'm going to be demoing both Zing as well as AI search. So probably I'll be switching between instances, but I'll try to give you a context of what I'm doing. So let's start with Zing search, right? Now, as Pooja indicated, Zing is a text-based search. And let me perform a search in travel. Let's say I'm looking at travel policies, or I'm looking to log a travel request, or so on and so forth. So you have all the content over here that are displayed. So right now we have just configured knowledge bases and catalogs, but you can configure further other sources, search sources as well. So now let's say we, once we get the results, we want to look at knowledge articles. So we can sort of filter based on what content type that we have. Or let's say we want to go for catalog items request, we can do that. Or we can go for all. Now over here, you see that we have certain filtering capabilities. So over here, we have just configured certain filters for knowledge articles and certain filters for catalogs. But those can be again configured using the script. So you should be able to search based on, let's say, topics, based on authors, based on last modified, and so on and so forth. So now let me quickly go to the AI search, because the demo will be very interesting. So now this is a demo that is set up, which will sort of demonstrate what we can achieve. This is the art of possible. So let me do the same search over here. We search with leave. So now we get a genius result over here. So the system is interpreting that most likely most people ask for request leave of absence when they search for leave, and the system is somewhat confident that this is what you could be requesting for, and that is why this is a genius result that's shown at the top, so that employees can access it and perform their action whatever they want to. And if you see, it also takes you to different content that you have over here. So again, navigation over here is, say you want to view knowledge, only knowledge, then you can just switch between navigation tabs and see those kinds of content. Over here, I have configured certain facets. Just to note that we don't have out of the box facet yet. You might have to configure the facets as you want. But let me touch upon that at a later point of time. So let me go ahead and enter another, travel. If you notice that I have intentionally misspelled travel. So over here, we have our typo handling that is activated, and our AI search actually uses the indexed content and not only a static dictionary. So you don't have to define an exhaustive dictionary to manage your typos. AI search will do that for you. So let's say we switch to the correct spelling, and there you go. You have again a genius result. The system, based on a lot of machine learning, understands, and it tells you that most of the people that are looking for travel are probably looking for this, and therefore we have a genius result. So in this particular instance, another thing that I'll point out is that because we're talking about the art of possible, as Pooja mentioned, we have our enterprise search capability, external search capabilities as well. So we have our SharePoint configured over here. We have Confluence configured over here. So we can also take a look at certain items that are present not in the internal system, but are held within the SharePoint. And over here, we are able to surface all the content for the user to see. So this sort of helps provide a unified experience to the employee. As an employee, I don't care where my content lives. I just want answers to my query, whether that content lives within catalog, knowledge, or say an external system like SharePoint or Confluence. I'll get a unified results from all of them. Let me show you another cool feature that we have. So let's say I want to. So over here, if you see, there's autocomplete over here based on the system is anticipating what you could be probably asking, and then you have your questions in the autocomplete over here. And if you notice over here, the user does not need to go and read the entire document, entire result. Rather, we just extract the snippet that could most probably answer your questions. So this is a big article, but you see we have published a very small part of it that we have anticipated that will be more relevant for you. So let me just go back. All right. So as you see, we have again over here, I have facets set up. That's not available out the box, but you can use a multiple sort of facets to control how you want to set up your filtering experience. I have configured facets for over here for knowledge articles as well as catalog items. But because of the search query, our entire question is answered by only knowledge. So here it is, the knowledge facet that you see over here. So let me go on further. If there are any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A. So let's talk about additional configurations, what we can achieve using AI search. And here we'll be mainly focusing on the AI search only. And sorry.
Can I pause you before you get into this section?
Sure, Pooja.
There are a lot of questions around SharePoint in chat. So I just wanted to make sure we address those. One was like whether we have SharePoint online versus on-prem. Do you want to like just expand on that a little bit? Yeah.
So right now we have support for only online content, not the on-prem content.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to talk in detail about the SharePoint connector what we can do, what is the art of possible, certainly please feel free to drop your emails, and I would be glad to have even a one-to-one conversations later with you to sort of talk about that in more detail.
Thank you. Thanks, Aditi. And there's a question that is in our Q&A, but I think will probably be addressed as we do the configurations, but I just wanted to read it out so everybody knows about it. So the question is from Maggie, and she's asking, is turning on AI search considered a heavy lift? And what kind of effort is required to turn it on? So as you cover this section, if we can just comment on that also, that will be nice.
Awesome. So let's move on further. So I guess some of the queries will be answered as we go on. I might not be monitoring the chat as I talk constantly, but then my colleagues will be more than happy to answer some questions, and I could take some later at a later point of time. So when configuring any search experience, right, we are primarily worried about two things. What do we want to make searchable? What is the content that we want to display to our users? And the second one is, when a user searches, how should the search result look like to them? So trying to map these two ideas to the AI search world that we have over here, we have broken the whole process of configuration down into what to make searchable and how to display the search results. And over here you have our primary areas of what do we need to set up. And I'll again talk about, I'm just trying to create a mental model of how AI search work, what we need to do in order to sort of configure AI search. And I'll also later in the next slide talk about what do we provide out of the box. And in the later point of time, we'll cover what can we do apart from out of the box as well. So over here, let's talk about indexing sources. This area primarily covers what are the different tables that we want to index. What do we want to index, which will be searchable to users? So we have different configurations to help the system understand the tables, what that tables represent, and interpret the fields correctly. So over here, you can set up some, you can index tables, you can filter content that within that table. What sort of filtering criteria do you want to put so that a certain kind of data? So for example, state could be active. You might want to only index those content, not everything. Or you might want to filter based on certain tags or updated after. I mean, there could be different things, the different filter criteria that you want to add in order to sort of figure out what exactly you want to ingest. Now, let's talk about the search sources part of it. Now, let's say you have index one or a few tables, but let's say in Employee Center, we need only a certain portion of that indexed content. So let's say we have indexed our people table, the table that contains details of all employees and their respective details. But we don't want our employees reaching directly out to the support team, let's say, for example. So what we can do over here in our search sources is we can chunk up the data. We can only, for purposes of Employee Center, use only certain kinds of people search and not the other. So we can basically break it down. And in this particular case, let's say for another portal, you want to show all the people details. You want to make every person in the company searchable. So you can manage that with your search sources. So basically, just to summarize, we basically chunk up the bigger data set to more relevant data for a particular portal that's required for basically my purpose. So now that we have figured out what exactly we want to show to our employees as search results, now the second part is how should the search results be displayed? So we have primarily two configurations over here. We have a search profiles and we have a search application. So search profile is where you fine tune the results that should be shown to your users. So things like what search sources do you want to include in this portal? If you want a different stop word dictionary, synonym dictionary, typo handling. I mean, you already have these dictionaries out of the box, which we'll of course cover in just a few minutes. But if you want to enhance them, see, to make it more relevant to your company, your employees, you can do that. You can also configure genius results from over here, and this is one of the most appealing features, because this is what provides your users the most likely search results that they are looking for. So over here, you can talk about and configure what would you want to include in the genius result, how it should look like. Let's say you want to answer users question, but not highlight the team involved. So you can configure catalog and knowledge in as your genius results, but not people. So you can define and fine tune what results should be shown to users. Moving to search applications. Over here, we get an option of defining the look and feel of our search experience. So I went through facets, which basically help you provide a filtering experience to your users to make them more relevant to your users. We have our EVAM configurations where we'll define how our result should look like. Should there be a card? What happens when someone clicks on them? And then we have a few autocomplete options. We have a few sorting options and post-processing. If you want to fine tune your search results, you can do that as well. You can go more as advanced as you want based on certain scripts. So I hope everybody has gotten a good picture of what of the mental model over here for how AI search is structured and what you need to do in order to configure it. So moving on further. Now, this one sort of focuses on what we have out of the box. Now, when you enable AI search on Employee Center, we have certain things that are available to you out of the box. So you can sort of go ahead with whatever is out of the box. If you want to add more search sources, you want to tweak how the results look, etc., you can also do that. And I'll get to that, the second part, a bit later. I mean, a few minutes later. So currently, we already index a few search sources that's available out of the box. So primary things over here are catalog, knowledge article, learning content, supplier, user tables, which is like basically your people. These are all available out of the box. And I'm talking about the area over here. Over here, you can include additional search sources, and you can change your field settings and mappings, etc. Now, again, search profile. So we do provide a default search profile that works for Employee Center, which has all the search sources, which include over here, which is knowledge base, learning content, supplier, purchasing, people, and catalog items. We, as I very briefly touched upon, we have set up dictionaries which are available out of the box for you. You have the synonym dictionary, stop word dictionary, and typo handling. But of course, you can enhance them. You can create your own dictionaries and so on. And then we had touched upon genius results as well. So you'll be able to. We already have some items configured of what are the number of genius results that you would have, and what is the NLU model, and etc. And you can again go for if you want to boost certain results, if you want some add certain logic to improve certain results, you could also do that with result improvement rules. So over here, and I'll show you the same thing, the out of the box. How does it look in an actual environment? What is the out of the box setting in just a few seconds. So for search applications, that the section that we have over here, we have predefined what the results should look like, how many navigation tabs you would have, And we have autocomplete suggestions, which includes our recent searches, our popular searches. When you type in a query, what is a matching query that we can suggest to you, so that you can sort of fine tune what you are asking for, and what are the suggested results. We already have sorting options based on relevance that's available out of the box, but you can opt for more. I believe AI search would provide you more options. And we have EVAN configuration out of the box, which basically defines how the search results are displayed and what happens when you click on certain search results. So additionally, as I briefly touched upon, you can go for adding facets. You have different tables that you have indexed. You can provide filtering criterias in each of them. And should you want to do some post processing, you want to boost certain results, you could do that from over here. So just mapping, sorry, I am going back to the slide, and just I'll show you an out of the box what is available over here. So this is going to be exactly what I just showed in the slides, just going to be on a real instance. So let's go to, I hope everybody remembers just these 4 terms: index sources, search profile, and search applications. And then we'll see what happens in each one of them. So let's take up index sources. Now, this is an out of the box instance. I believe this is out of the box. We might have tweaked it a little bit, but it should be primarily out of the box. And I'll point out what's not out of the box if I notice something. So over here, okay, this is an out of the box instance. So as I pointed out, we have certain tables that's already indexed. Now, each of these tables that have been indexed can be used across different portals. They have just been indexed by AI search. Now you can use them in different portals. You can chunk up the data however you want. So if I go to one of these tables, you'll see the different child tables. You'll see if there is some advanced configurations, field settings and mappings, indexing history, and source mappings. I'll go to the source mapping, cover it at a slightly later point of time. So now let's see, this is the entire content that AIS has ingested, indexed, and made available for you. So now let's go to the search sources. Now, if you remember, search sources was primarily chunking up the data. We talked about ingesting making available a certain portion of the content for certain portal. So that can be achieved through the search sources. So over here, you can see that we already have some based on certain criteria. We filtered certain data for you that's available. I believe most of them will not have any filter, merely except state should be active. So we have similarly ESC portal catalogs, knowledge bases, portal people available. Then we have our purchasing people and suppliers that's already available to you. So let's go to search profile. If you see over here, there are out of the box, there's several search profile available, which could be, of course, used in different portals. But you have a default ESC search portal, employee center search profile that's available to you, which will basically provide you all the details related to employee center that's configured out of the box. So if you see over here, we have our knowledge bases, supplier, purchasing, people, and catalog items that already comes out of the box for you. When you enable AI search, these are the search sources which will automatically be working straight out of the box. Should you want to include other things, you can do that. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a synonym dictionary that works straight out of the box. We have our stop word dictionary, typo handling. These are things that you can definitely customize, enhance, add to however you want to. And over here, out of the box, we have primarily 3 types of genius results. So if someone asks questions about people, if someone asks questions about certain catalog and Q&A. Now, if the system is confident and knows what you as an employee are asking, it will populate those answers in genius results, and those will be available to your users as a separate card top so that they don't need to browse through everything, but they can just go and use that to fulfill the intent that they came to AI search with. So let's just take a look at the search applications as well. So over here, also straight out of the box, you have our Employee Center default search applications. So over here, if you see, as I mentioned, we don't have facets configured out of the box. You can do that. We have a navigation tabs, 5 navigation tabs based on different search sources that you have. You have autocomplete suggestions out of the box, as I pointed out. You have, if an employee is typing in a query, we can autocomplete it based on certain logic. So we'll populate our recent search, popular searches, suggested queries, suggested results, and so on. So we have certain post processors. So for example, your content has a date and time format which is not user friendly. Or let's say in America, you view date as say month, day, and year. While in India, you do it date, month, and year. You can customize that accordingly. And then we have straight out of the box, we have a sort by date that's available. You can, I believe there are other options that will be available to you, made available by AI search. So let's go back and take a look. Now that we have taken a look at what is available out of the box, and if you see, when you enable AI search, your most of the things that you would want your users to search on are available out of the box. So you don't need a very heavy lift to sort of configure everything. You have everything straight out of the box. Your users can begin searching on our platform. But should you want to sort of enhance this, should you want to index other content, you can do that. I'm sorry. So you can add different tables. So for example, let's say you want to add a quick links. You can do that. You have external links that you want to be displayed in the search results. You can do that. And this is again an interesting thing, external sources, right? So often it happens that you do not have all your content on the ServiceNow platform. Your content resides in external systems, SharePoint, Confluence, and so on and so forth. And you would want to provide your employees a unified search experience. You don't want them to worry about where the answer lives, but you want them to just focus on giving them the right answers. So you can configure those that as well. So I will briefly touch upon how to go ahead and do that. So over here, and since the slides will be available to you, the recording will be available to you. So I'm not going to read out each one of them, but I'm rather going to talk about, show you one of the instances where we have gone beyond the out of the box settings, and how that looks in the world of these 4 items: index sources, search profile, and search applications. But when you listen to recording, please feel free to read through each one of them. But I'm going to focus on some of the primary ones that we have over here, which will help you understand what you can achieve. So let me again go to another instance. All right, so just like I showed you right now with the out of the box instance, now this instance is more advanced. It shows the art of possible. So you'll see things which are now not out of the box. We have configured certain areas, certain items, certain sources which are not available out of the box. So as you see, we have a few things which are configured additionally. We have a Confluence, and this uses, we have a recent connector that helps fetch the content and make it searchable from Confluence to Employee Center portal. Then we also have our SharePoint connection, which again fetches content from SharePoint and makes it available on the Employee Center. And another thing that's not configured out of the box is quick links. So we are going to focus on what quick links, what configuration of quick link looks like. So I'm not going to be able to do the entire configuration for you live because we are slightly crunched on time, but I'm going to show you how it looks like. So over here, what we have done is we have indexed the entire quick links table, and we have basically set up the fields in order to sort of help AIS interpret what this field is, what this table is about. So we have our indexing history, which is also available. So now that we have indexed this table, that is quick links, let's go to our search sources. So whenever you want to add in make available new search sources, you'll have to index it, of course, and then you'll have to define what exactly in that table do you want to make available for a particular portal, and then chunk up the data, and then you're gonna have to define the look and feel, fine tune the results, and so on. So again, index sources, search profiles, and search applications. So over here, we have created a search source specifically just for quick links. So over here, we have set a very basic criteria. We want to use this search source in Employee Center portal. And we want, the only condition that we have put over here is whether active is, it should be active. That's the only criteria that we have set. But if you see over here, you have plenty of different criteria that you can use to sort of filter out what exactly would you want to make it available in your portal. So if you see, there are lots of criteria. You have your titles, you have updated dates, you have created by, catalog item, and lot of options over here. So let me just go back. So now let's talk about, now that we have figured out that, okay, we want to make quick links available to be available as search source to our employees. So what happens, how should it look like? So hold on. Okay. So what we have done over here is we have our default search profile that's available over here. So, well, you can use the same search profile. You can add on different content, content that you want searchable. You can add in your sources here. You can tweak it, or you can go for a completely different search profile if you want to sort of start from scratch. So if you see over here, we have a search sources. So over here, because this is an advanced instance where we have Confluence, we have SharePoint, we have quick links, everything is configured over here. So you'll be able to see the search on the employee portal will be able to leverage each one of these search sources when your employee searches. We have left over here the synonym dictionary that you have out of the box, which are advanced, which are really advanced already. And we have the Genius results, which are available out of the box. So we don't want quick links to be displayed as a Genius result. We think that most of the people who query people, catalog, and question answers would answer most of them. So these are the things that we want to keep. So you could do that. And then should you want to boost certain results, you can, of course, go for any result improvement rules that you can create. And then going to search applications, again, as discussed, again, a default out of the box search applications made available. You can go ahead, tweak this. You can go ahead and create a completely new one from scratch, up to you based on what you're trying to achieve. So over here, a search application uses a search profile, which we just talked about, we defined. So here we have configurations like how many search results do you want to be displayed to your users. You can go for 10, you can go for 20. What is a number you want? You can decide of how many Genius results do you want to display to your users. You can go for one Genius results, which is most optimum, but should you want to go for more, you can do that from over here. So over here, just to show you the facets, I have configured facets for knowledge and catalog, but facets are pretty easy to configure. All you need to do is, let me just show you very briefly. So all you need to do is that you need to provide a name and a label for it. And what is the table, based on what column or what aspect of the table do you want it to be searchable? So for the ones that I have set up over here, I have selected topic. So when your users see facets, they will be able to filter their content, filter their knowledge, and filter their catalog items based on the topics that they are connected to. But you can go for any field. You might want to set up facets based on, let's say, author. You can do that, or basically any other field that you might want to provide as filtering. Then you have the navigation tabs. What is visible? In your search results as navigation tabs? Should an employee want to just look at knowledge articles related to my search, they can navigate to one tab. Do they want to look at SharePoint results? They can go to another tab. So this is what basically this table indicates. So we have the we have the out of the box autocomplete suggestion, which are very advanced, and you can just use this. There's rarely any need of tweaking over here. You can, as discussed, you can have several post processors over here that you might want to sort of manage how the results are available to users. And we have our sorting option that is already predefined. You can go for additional ones as well. So primarily this is, so should you want to set up additional search sources, should you want to add more content to make it searchable, these are the primary steps that you would need to sort of perform in order to do that. And as you saw that these are very easy to do, very easy, very intuitive set of steps to perform these. And these can be done fairly quickly, not at all a heavy lift. So moving forward, so another thing that we wanted to sort of portray over here is that sometimes you might want to make all content that searchable, but sometimes you might want to make only the content that are associated to the taxonomy to be searchable. And the reason why is that when you go to topic pages, right, your users see a certain amount of content. And when they search, you want to make this exactly the same set of content searchable to the users, you can do that. All it'll take is that you can, when adding your search sources, you can filter the content that is available on only the taxonomy. So, and so this you have to configure in the AI search when you're going for, when you are defining your search sources. However, on Zing, I like to point out that Zing already has this embedded into the code. Only the content that is available to your users via browse, as in the topic pages, the same set of results would be again searchable and displayed as search results to your users. So this is an important call out. This needs to be a conscious decision of how much or how less content you want to make searchable to your employees. So I believe this is all I have. And if there are any queries, I'm sure you have been asking them on Q&A, but if you have any queries, we can go further. I'll hand it back over to Pooja, and then we can take it further. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Aditi. This was really, really awesome. We had a lot of Q&A, actually, and I just wanted to let everyone know that we will make the Q&A available on community along with the slides and video. So please go there. There are still some questions coming in. I will go to them, but before I go there, Mavis, Heather, was there anything that you wanted to add for people to just keep an eye out or be aware of?
No, I'm good. I think, it's really great to see the interactions and then see a lot of like interest on the search connectors. So thank you everybody for your input.
Awesome. And I just want to remind people, if you expressed interest, please make sure you posted your email address, and you can post it just to host if you want. And we will definitely follow up on what's available, who is it available for, what do you need, and so on, and everything around that. That's about it. And please keep your questions coming. We are addressing them via chat. And is there, like, I don't think there's any question that we wanted to call out specifically, but Heather, Aditi, thank you so much. Mavis, thank you so much. And Akash, thank you so much for joining today. We're still around. So please post your questions in Q&A, but otherwise feel free to drop, and have a good rest of your day.